All right, guys, welcome in to today's live builds. My name is Alex. I'm the head of education at Aimfox here. So excited to have everyone here today. We have a very special guest also with us today, the founder of Aimfox, the other Alex. And we're very excited to go through the auto reply agent today, built by Claude. Hello, Alex.
Hello, surprise, surprise. It's me again, guys. Awesome. Thank you for having me, Alex. It's great to be a guest here. I'm very excited to show what I've been personally working on in terms of the AI reply agent. So yeah, man, thank you so much for
Of course.
hosting this.
Amazing. It's exciting.
So yeah. Hello, everybody in the audience. So the setup is a little bit different today. I am the guest because I built something that I'm really excited about, and I just thought that this will be a great value share that we can all go through, because it is like solving one of the major pain points that we've seen our users have and that we also had. So yeah, with that said, let me know in the comments if you are building with AI, if you're vibe coding, if you're using Claude code, because then this is going to be very, very relevant for you. And yeah, man, Alex, so this is the plan for today. I want to cover basically. So yeah, the build that we are going to be talking about is the AI reply agent. So what this AI reply agent does is that it basically takes over and all of your replies inside of Aimfox, all the replies that you get, the AI agent is triggered and it takes over the conversation. It replies to your leads and it pushes them towards a predefined goal. So in our case, that predefined goal is going to be either book a scheduled call or sign up for a free trial, depending on how the AI qualifies the lead. And we'll get to that in a minute, like how we do the qualification, how I've built this. But before we dive into it, the main pain point that we've seen our users have, and a pain point that we have is once you start scaling LinkedIn outreach as a channel. So if you're say renting 50 LinkedIn profiles from us or 100 LinkedIn profiles, you're going to be getting hundreds of replies per day. And the challenge there quickly becomes is how do you handle those replies? So a year ago, users were handling that load by hiring VAs, right? So I remember we had this. I actually did a webinar with this agency. They had 6 VAs managing replies for 80 LinkedIn profiles. It's 6 people, right? It's hard to manage. And they even threw me in a WhatsApp group that they were in, and it was a mess. Yeah, I mean, so
yeah, it's crazy.
It gets really crazy really quickly. So now the shift that we've seen is that honestly, we weren't the first to do this. Our users were the first to start doing this. The shift that we've seen is that people are not really hiring that many VAs anymore. They're building through Claude Code, and on top of our webhooks and API, they're building autonomous systems AI that just is handling everything end to end. So then I was we can't have users building stuff that I don't fully understand. So I was okay, I got to build this myself. So that's kind of the context here.
Love it.
Okay, so all right, guys. So let's start kicking this off. So we're gonna cover 2 main topics, 2 main aspects here. The first is how do you make this from a technical standpoint? How do you make this technically work? How do you make sure all the replies are being collected, the messages are being drafted, they're being sent in a timely manner, all the technical aspects? How do you set everything up? The second aspect of this Webby is going to be the quality part. So how do you make sure that your AI reply agent has enough context, is trained enough to outperform a real person? And when I say outperform, I really mean outperform, not just like be as good as a real person. I mean, it can literally outperform any VA that you have. However, getting there is work. So let's start. Let's start. I see we already have a whole bunch of people here, so I think we can start rolling things. Okay, so here's a breakdown of basically the flow and what it looks like. So when we get a reply inside of Aimfox, a webhook is triggered, right? That webhook is queued for. Let me just pause this. That webhook is put in a queue, and then we do an additional layer of research for that lead and for the context that we have. So how it works is in the webhook, we get the last 10 messages of the conversation. So we have enough context, and then we also get the lead data information. For example, their LinkedIn profile, the name of their company, etc. Then we introduce a research layer, which uses a third-party API. Here I'm using Fireclaw, which is basically an API that researches websites. So then we go on their website, we research their company data, and then we have enough context. At that point, Claude creates a draft of the message. And then once the draft is created, I have a second AI that grades and looks at how good this reply is. So it's an AI that reviews the AI. Now, when that happens, okay, come on, load the screen. All right, here we go. So then the AI needs to make a decision, right? Is this message ready for auto send? Meaning that no human in the loop, everything is just done fully autopilot. Or does it send the message to human review? Meaning that it's unsure of how good the reply is. So that's like the safety layer. Of course, like I built in the app, I built an option where you can just manually toggle auto send or human review. So you can just make so that like everything goes for human review. And yeah, so basically, yeah, and then the reply is sent for approval. And that approval, I've also built an integration on Slack with Slack because we use Slack heavily in our day-to-day. So every drafted reply gets sent to a dedicated Slack channel where we have an option to either approve, reject, or edit the message. And then I've also added some more advanced stuff, such as I want to also be able to give live feedback. So AI can learn from it. So I introduced also a grading system on a 1 to 10 scale that is done through emojis inside of Slack to see how relevant and good the reply is. And then once you approve it, or once it's auto-approved, the reply is sent to the lead. The offer is made, and this is where AI really excels. So I went ahead and not just built something that's going to reply to the message. I've also built a flow that is going to keep on following up until we get a reply to our reply. Because what we see in a lot of cases happening, you send somebody an offer, you get to a certain point in the conversation, and then they just ghost you and it drops off. Here, I've introduced a logic where we give, after a few days, we do one follow-up, and after a few days, we do another follow-up before giving up on that lead. So this is the rough layout of how this of what we'll be going over today. Now, Let me think really quickly. Yeah, so now we can now I want to dive into the actual setup and show you guys how to actually set this up, what you need to have in order to make all of this work, and basically, yeah, how do you put it all together? So for the sake of just efficiency and time, I will be under the presumption that you're already familiar with Claude Code. So I will not be going into the details of how to use Claude Code. That is something you're gonna have to research in your own time, but it's fairly straightforward, right? Nothing super complicated. And one more important thing is we will share a full blueprint of our setup or how you can mimic that setup with the recording of this call. So you're all going to get an email and we're going to share the blueprint where you'll be seeing how to build this. So you don't need to be recording this or taking active notes. Just listen so you kind of understand the vibe, the logic, and the reasoning behind it. And then we will go from there. And yeah, I already see some questions, but we'll get to the questions in a bit. All right. Cool. All right. So now I want to share my screen. So perfect. I'll just do window here. All right. And I'll be actually doing a little more. I'll be actually showing you live results that we got through this. So it's not just going to be theory. I'm going to show you how things are working live. So this is what I did. So literally yesterday, I added a few avatar profiles onto my Aimfox workspace. So these are my team's profiles, and these are our avatar accounts that we use for outreach, right? And I put them in a campaign, and they started doing interactions yesterday. Let me find, for example, one. For example, Violetta. And Violetta sent 15 connection invites yesterday and sent another 15 today. She's starting out slow because she's just getting started, and we want to gradually scale up the outbound. And by the way, this goes perfectly hand in hand with the renting of LinkedIn profiles approach, because it kind of allows you to tie everything together. You rent the LinkedIn profiles from us, you customize them, you launch your outreach campaigns and your outreach sequences. And when you start getting those replies, that's where the AI kicks in and just goes end to end, basically. So yeah, here, let me just do all accounts. And yeah, you can see today, today we're going to be doing a couple of hundred connection invites from these accounts because I just launched this campaign. Let me just filter active campaigns. And this is going to be my campaign. I'm targeting competitor users, and I'm using these 5 accounts, and I have 2,500 people in my target audience. Okay, so the first thing that I need that's going to happen is so there is an emailing sequence that is there is an outreach sequence that is taking place throughout this campaign. I am sending a series of messages, right? And at certain point, leads receiving these messages are going to reply to them, right? So I'm going to go into my Unibox here, and I'm going to filter based on specific campaign. And here, and for example, these are messages. These are actual replies that we've gotten from this campaign. So I've showed you. So this is today. This is actually you see how it's moving. This is actually live data. So today at 2 p.m., we sent the message from the sequence from our rental profile. From a lead, we got an interested reply. He said, "Hello, Denise, and thank you for reaching out. Please share some data or case studies." And then the AI replied, "Let me send over a screenshot of a workspace running 50 rental profiles. Would you be interested in penciling in something in for this week?" And when they reply yes or no, this AI is going to send them a schedule call, a link to book a call. Now, in order for the AI to receive this reply. Now, by the way, there is a 10-minute delay here because I'm still in the phase where I am requiring human approval before sending. So in my, let me just, wait, I'm just going to share my entire screen so it's easier to view. 1 second. Let's do like this, share screen, entire screen. Perfect. So, okay. Back here. Okay, so how do I make sure that the AI sees this reply as soon as it happens? We're going to do that through webhooks. So you need to go into your Aimfox workspace. You need to go to settings here, and you're gonna need two things here. Basically, you're gonna need to set up webhooks, and here you can see I have my AI reply agent, and you're gonna need to set up an API. And I have different APIs. Here's my API for the AI reply agent. Now, let me explain briefly how this is going to work. So when a reply hits from your Aimfox campaign, a webhook is triggered instantly, right? So there is no delay here. The webhook is received by the app or by the AI agent, and that webhook contains the last 10 messages. Now, here's an important thing I want to show you when setting up these webhooks. Now, this is very important. I'll just do entire screen again. All right, so when you're setting up a webhook, let's do add new webhook. I'm going to do just test here. And here we select the webhook events. Now, here we have a lot of events that we can log through the webhooks. The event that we are interested in is going to be replies. However, if you select this event reply, this event triggers when a lead sends their first reply to an Aimfox campaign message. So this is the webhook that we need because it only triggers on replies from your messages. This makes sure that we don't pick up like replies that you get from your like other conversations outside of Aimfox. If you were, for example, to select, if you were, for example, to select a different, for example, new reply webhook, this event triggers every time you receive any sort of message on your LinkedIn profile. And in most cases, you don't want, this is not going to be relevant. So you're going to want to select this reply, and you're going to want to select in-mail reply in case you are sending in-mails. And this makes sure that the data that you get, that your app gets, is relevant, and you don't need to do another layer of identifying if that data is from a campaign or not, because everything coming in through these webhooks is going to be through a campaign. And okay, so you have your webhook set up. That's perfect. The AI has the message that it needs. It drafts a reply, and then in order for it to send that reply, you need to set up an API key here. And once you set that API key up, then you have two-way communication between Aimfox, so Aimfox, AI, Aimfox, basically. And that's where yeah. So how fast does this whole circle take? So the webhook sends the message, it goes, the reply is drafted, and then the reply is sent through Aimfox to the lead. That, like based on my testing, everything, the whole circle takes around 30 seconds from when you get the reply. Now, this is super important because like the time to lead is just really, really good. And you're not like if you reply to them within like 60 seconds, or even if it's like 2-3 minutes, the chance of them replying back is going to be a lot higher. All right. Okay, that was a long one, man. That was like
that was really
30
good.
minutes of talking.
There are a few questions in the chat if you want to hit any of those.
Yeah, let's hit them. Let's hit them, and then we can dive back in, man. Like, let's see. Fireclaw is allowed to crawl LinkedIn without a login or. Hi, Michelle. So no, Fireclaw doesn't handle any part of the LinkedIn site. We use in this setup, I use the Fireclaw API to scrape their website and get context from their website. How do I know what their website is well, Aimfox pulls that from the lead data that we get from their LinkedIn profile. So we scrape the data from the LinkedIn profile. Fireclaw gives our AI additional context coming from the website. I'm super curious if you're auto posting or manually, since LinkedIn doesn't like third-party tools. So this is all like the replies are sent. Like both work. So it can be manually approved or it can be full auto. And yeah, so we'll get. Well, let me see. One more. All right. Are these fake profiles renting? So if you're familiar with how we rent profiles, these are not fake accounts. They belong to real people who basically earn passive income by leasing their LinkedIn profile to us, and we sublease their LinkedIn profiles to you. You can customize everything about these profiles, and you can scale your campaigns. That's the idea. All right, so okay, let's get into the webhooks. For us, we have used campaign reply webhook event. How is it different from the reply webhook event? Okay, let's take a look and see. 1 second here. I'll go into this. I'll just need to pull it up. Okay, so here, and there is an explanation actually in the app. I'm going to share my screen. Entire screen. All right. So when you read the event description, campaign reply, this event triggers when a lead replies to any message sent through an Aimfox campaign, unlike the reply event, which only fires on the first reply. This event captures every reply throughout the conversation, giving you campaign. Oh man, okay, you are 100% right. Okay, scratch what I said. Don't use the reply event. I made a mistake. This is the event that we are using. Campaign reply, because the reply event is just going to give you the last reply. Campaign reply gives you all of the conversation, and you definitely need all of the conversation. By the way, this is done correctly in the blueprint. But I did get this wrong 2 minutes ago. So yes, campaign reply, because it gives you full context of the conversation. Yeah, that's a good catch. That's a good catch here, Scylla. Okay. Does LinkedIn have to be in an open tab in the background for this to work? No, absolutely not. Like, everything is web cloud-based, so you don't need to keep LinkedIn open or anything. How do you make sure replies sound human, or you just trust the AI for the tone? Okay, so perfect question to kind of like get us into the next phase of this, and then we'll go back to the questions that we missed. So how do we make sure that AI has enough context to nail these replies? Let me go back to the actual reply that I was showing you right like a minute ago. So I'm going to go get out of here, back here, inbox, and this lead. Okay, so you can see here that the AI, the lead asked, please share some data or case studies. And The AI knew exactly what to reply. However, how did it know? Like, where did it get the screenshot from? How did it know that this is the case study that we want to push? Well, that's because I thought it. So that's the quality part of this build. Once you make sure that everything is working from a technical point, you need to make sure that, like, from a quality standpoint, it's fitting your criteria. So here I have a little app, and this is my AI. So this is where all of my replies land. God willing, it's going to load, or I might need to reload. Give it a second. Come on, AI, work with me here.
It happens.
Okay, while I wait for the inbox to load, I'll show you how I give it context. Okay, it loaded. So here, like, all of my replies, they go into Slack as well. And I'll show you the Slack channel as well. But you can also see everything here, and you can approve, edit, or reject. Now, here I have a little part where I give it context, and where I set the tone, where I define its persona, and where I tell it what it shouldn't do. And then I feed it data such as, this is the link I want you to use when you're booking a call. When you're sending a free trial URL, this is what I want you to use. When people are asking for the price, this is the link I want you to send them. And then here I've uploaded a series of screenshots that is going to use. So a workspace proof. Use a social proof, show a real client's result to motivate good fit. And if you go back into the reply here, this is going to be that screenshot that I gave it. So basically, you are able to give it all the context you want, right? So, like, when you're building this, so this is the actual app and how I've built it here in Claude Code. And you basically talk to Claude, right? Like, you explain what you want Claude to do. Like let's do, for example, this. We need to improve the messaging, and I'm not going to publish any of these changes. So we need to improve the messaging. And then now it's analyzing and looking, and it's going to give me, it's going to turn on a brainstorming skill, and it's going to ask me a series of questions on how we can improve the messaging. So here we go. It's like asking clarifying questions, proposing 2 to 3 different approaches, and I basically work with it. So the goal here is, treat AI like I'm a non-technical person, right? So, like, I don't write code. The best thing that I can say is just, like, treat Claude like an employee, right? Imagine you have, like, a super smart, super good employee, and just tell them in human language what you need and what you're not happy with, and it's going to work out the way to do it. I don't know, like, Alex, like, I know you've been vibe coding stuff as well, but I think you agree with this approach.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Actually,
no, you're
talk
good,
for
man.
a bit.
one of the hardest things that we've actually seen with a lot of people that I've seen use, and actually any sort of outbound DMs, is the making messages more humanized. It's typically one of the hardest things because AI can't really make these perfect messages, right? Unless you use like that Claude Code, for example, where you're really telling it, okay, this is what makes it human. A lot of times they say make it human, but what does that actually mean, right? Does that mean less pauses, less questions, more questions? So as long as you're very specific on exactly what human looks like, the messages become way, way better.
Yeah. And
that's awesome.
And I know, like, you're preparing like a big series of videos that, like, like we'll be launching on our YouTube channel. And by the way, guys, like, subscribe to our YouTube channel because we got a lot of good stuff coming up, and Alex is spearheading there. So this will be definitely one of the topics that will be covered in the videos.
Oh, 100%. And if you guys have any other topics that you do want us to cover too, you can always drop them in the chat, and we can make full video series on them as well.
Yeah. So when will you allow us to create campaigns through the MCP server? So right now you can create custom list campaigns through the MCP server. You cannot create full search campaigns, post campaigns, different types of campaigns. However, you can create a custom list campaign, or basically a blank campaign, and then you can, through the API or through the MCP server, you can feed leads into that campaign. What you cannot do is you cannot build the entire outreach flow. So you would need to go into the app to build it out. We are going to be a lot more API, like, I mean, we're already extremely API friendly, but like we are going to be breaking these things down in our API within the next couple of months. So there will be a lot of improvements on there, because kind of the vision we have is we want to give, by the end of this year, we want to have like an API that, like, you know, if you don't ever want to visit our user interface, you don't have to. You can just do everything through the API. We are not there yet, so we are still missing some things there. Okay, so here's one more. It will be great if we can add recorded voice messages inside the campaign. Have to add the voice message by speaking. All right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Noted, man. Like, well, this is good feedback. Thank you. We'll make sure that, like, you can upload a recording. I thought you could do it already. I will double check with the team. Okay. So let me see. More questions. How to set this up? So if you're talking about, like, how do you start building this, there are a few ways you can do it, but, like, you know, I don't want to get like too much into that, because you need to figure out, you need to host the app somewhere. It needs to be live, not run locally on your laptop, because then you need to have your laptop on if you want for this to work. So you need to host it somewhere. You need code spaces to build this in, and then you need APIs that you can hook into. Now, one more thing that, like, I've kind of like ran through is the Slack component. So yes, like, I did show you that we do have, I did build an app, but for me, like, we spend a lot of time in Slack, and I want to see all of the drafted messages being sent there, especially in the phase where I'm not 100% sure if I'm ready to toggle the switch and just go full auto. And that's the goal. So, like, for me, like, the goal is like, you know, require human approval, approve, train. And then when, like, 95% of the messages are good enough to be approved right away, I'm just going to flip the switch. I'm going to go full auto, and I'm just going to be shoving LinkedIn profiles into Aimfox by using the rented LinkedIn accounts. And then I'm just going to be scaling up like this. Okay, so let's see what Mr. Silver Soma has to say. And yeah, generating the reply is easy. Knowing when do not reply and shut up is the difficult part. Very good point. And I will show you how I tackle this. Knowing when you should not reply anymore really taps into human communication. So, okay, yeah, very good point. So let me see let me just ask AI here to explain. So let me. I will explain. So in the blueprint, we are actually explaining this. So I'm just going to pull up the blueprint really quickly here. Just give me a moment. I'll show you. Automate font through Slack review loop. Okay, so I don't want to waste your time like looking for this now, but let me explain. So I defined a logic. What happens when you get a reply that is clearly not interested? How do you like navigate out of it, right? So I set the tone for it. I said in a very polite way, say that you understand, like be understandful, and drop them a link in case this ever becomes relevant. The important thing here is it's not so much like what my approach is that like you can efficiently control this process as well. So like the way like you should think about like when training the AI reply bot is just like you do one setup and then you just read messages, and you define different scenarios. There is a scenario that that happens like, you know, when the lead is interested, when the lead is not interested, when the lead wants to get on a call, when the lead is very frustrated. So, you know, you need to cover all of these different scenarios and make sure that, okay, yes, here, okay, I'm going to pull this up and share with you. 1 second here. All right, so I actually show you how I built this. Share screen, window, wrong tab. Just entire screen, always easier. Pop. Okay,
Nice.
So yeah, so this part here, actually, I'm gonna go like this. Perfect. Okay, so these are what Claude is told. So these are the scenarios for my SDR, for my app. So first touch, intent unclear. So this is a very relevant prompt scenario, because in a lot of cases, if you're sending a note with the connection request, you're just going to get a very fast reply from them saying, thanks for connecting, from them. And then like the intent is completely unclear. So you need to ask one warm question. And I've defined what I want them to ask. I want AI to look for a hook. And what is a hook? A hook is a tool that Aimfox is integrating with. So we're going to ask a question like, hey, also great to connect. Do you happen to be, I see you're in the GTM space. Are you using any outreach tools for emailing? And they say, yeah, I'm using Instantly. And then he names a tool I integrate with. That's an integration hook. And that's a hook that should lead to a scheduled call scenario. So then the goal of the conversation becomes get that lead to book a call and show how Aimfox integrates with, say, Instantly, right? Warm interest, like, you know, hey, I just saw Aimfox. The app looks really good. I love what you're building. And then we also push for a call. Now, there is also a scenario. So you remember I said that we look at their website. So the AI also qualifies the lead. When we ask them a question such as, are you just looking to run this for yourself or for your team? If they say, I'm looking to run this for myself personally, then it's not really somebody like we want to get on a call with. It's somebody we want to direct to our free trial. So the self-serve users get pushed into the free trial model, and they get one more thing, and then they get a discount code for the free trial for if they convert. So I've also defined discount codes that the agent is sending them in the chat. And then what you asked, not interested, I just said graceful exit with dropping a link. So, and then I've introduced some hard guardrails, like, you know, things that should like never happen, right? Like booking link only after an explicit yes. So don't spam with a booking link. Ask them, do they want to book a call with you? Do they want to chat? And if you go back, for example, into this specific reply, you're going to see, would you be interested in penciling something in, right? So I'm not sending them the link right away. I decided I don't want to be as aggressive. So you have like full tweaking options here. Like you control everything.
Love it.
Pick a question for me. Come on.
All right, let's see. We had Alexander. How do you handle when multiple messages? Yeah, that one. come back to back, making sure you get the full context. You said having human in the loop is in Slack helped train. How'd you do the training specifically?
Yeah. Okay. So how do you make sure when you get multiple messages? So make sure, as we just as Silver Soma pointed out a few moments ago, make sure you don't use the reply webhook. Make sure you use the campaign reply webhook. So that specific webhook gives you the entire conversation thread. So then you have full context. Now, you said having human in the loop in Slack helped train. How did you do the training? Now, there are two ways you can do it. One way is you can just go into Claude Code on your code space and just directly tell it, hey, I need you to change this. I don't like this. Copy paste the reply and say what you like or don't like about it. I created a more systematic way to do this because I wanted. So I built a setup where on Slack, if you react with a certain emoji, that is considered feedback. So it's going to be 1 to 10. 1 to 3 is very bad. 8 to 10 is very good. And the 8 to 10 replies, those are the replies I want the model to use to train on for future replies. But be creative, right? You can set this up in different ways. You can set this up, for example, inside of Slack and be like, if I will give in the thread of the message, I will give you my comments that I want you to take to consider when drafting future replies. That will also work. I said that for us, the thread, I use it when I want to override the reply, the AI generated reply. So yeah, that's how I set it up.
There was a follow-up too. How do the proactive follow-ups work?
Very good question. So again, there isn't any black magic here. I just told Claude, if the lead doesn't reply within 3 days or within 6 days, I want to follow up and nudge them to give me a reply. And here I have it in the blueprint as well. Let me just pull it up, the dashboard for people, automatic follow-ups. All right, let me share my screen here again. Okay, so automatic follow-ups. When the reply offers a call, So I decided I want to follow up with a fixed template because the follow-up is always kind of a follow-up. You can also do it with an AI generated message. But the logic here is day 0 is when the offer is made. So schedule a call, book, sign up for your free trial, whatever. Then so I said 3 days later, first nudge, 6 days later, one more nudge. If lead replies, all the follow-ups are canceled. Yeah, and basically it's there isn't really any, it's not super hard to build. You just have to, again, just in the place where you train Claude, just tell it to build that for you. But it's a huge value add.
Silver had another good question about the how do you handle scenario when the customer's interested but wants to circle back, let's say a few weeks later, a couple months later, specific date, just later in the future?
Okay, good question. So I haven't handled that scenario in this, and that is definitely a good scenario. How I would handle it is I would say, if you identify a delay, reach back out to me in 3 weeks, schedule a reply with relevant context on the date proposed by the lead. So I'm pretty sure Claude is going to be able to handle that. What it will do, it will build a scheduler that you've inside of the app which is going to be tweakable on a case-by-case basis. And that scheduler is going to be able to like fire based on like individual cases. So yeah, that's definitely a scenario I would want to handle. I haven't handled it, so I'll make sure to do it.
Nice.
But like that's like the thing, like, there are like so many different scenarios here, and that is a bit of a struggle here, right? Like, this is not like so how long does it take to build this? I would say like, a focus weekend, and you can get like from zero to live over a weekend, like 2 days, right? Like, 1 or 2 days. However, you need to reserve time in the future to train it and to make sure you cover the gaps that you identify. Because every gap you identify is, it's going to replicate at scale. So definitely keep on training and keep on working, and it's going to be a lot more efficient than human people.
Nice. It's also good to really have like the constant feedback, because there are so many situations that are so different when it comes to messaging. So that's really good to just keep having that feedback as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I see another good question here from Alexander. Does the second AI determine whether a human in the loop is needed based on the grading system? Yes. So it has its own grading system. And even if I turn auto respond, it in a scenario where it is uncertain of how well it's handling the question, if it identifies that there is confusion, there is uncertainty, it is going to request mandatory human approval. And then I will get a Slack message on my Slack channel, and there I will have to approve or disapprove the message. And here, let me actually, how can I actually show this without showing too much private stuff? Let me go like this. Okay, so for example, let me show you how this works, how this actually looks inside of my Slack. Share screen, entire screen. All right, so yeah, this is what the Slack channel looks like, right? So sure, that works. I just responded to you in inbox support. Let me know if we're on the perfect sample. I flagged your message to our support team, and we'll back. So be careful of this, because I've flagged your message in support, and the team will get back to you shortly. This is a lie. Like, it didn't flag any type of message. Can you build this out? Yeah, you can. But did it actually do it? It didn't. So this is a reply that I'm going to. So you see, for example, but here, look at this: confidence review. So this reply, the AI was like, yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I'm kind of lying here, or I'm kind of inventing things. So I'm going to send confidence level is for review. And this is the reason why. And I'm going to send it here, and then I'm going to reject it. And that message is not going to be sent. So yeah, you need to spend time like reviewing and training 100%.
Nice.
Cool. Wow, 50 minutes, man. Like, I mean, I'm gonna have a sore throat from this. I already feel it.
No, this is incredible though. This is really exciting to see like this tool being built out.
Yeah. And like, so like for everybody in the audience, like, like any more questions, like feel free to blast. I think I might have probably missed quite a few. And we can get back to them, so you can resurface them if needed, guys. But bottom line is like there is an infinite amount of scenarios you can cover here. For what's important is that from us as the outreach tool you're using, we need to provide you with everything you need to set this up technically in a flawless way. So the emphasis is on the webhooks and on the inbox syncing time. Excuse me, like, I'm not saying this because I want to make us sound better than our competitors, but it's a fact that like every other LinkedIn outreach tool in the space has massive delays in inbox and message syncing. 20 minutes, 60 minutes, sometimes it can be hours. We don't. So with us, the way our infrastructure works is we pick up replies pretty much instantly. And That's super important here, because like you have to remember that like on LinkedIn, this is not an email. This is a live chat. So this person is going to be, over a period of like 5 minutes, you're probably going to exchange like 10 messages, right? And the AI needs to be able to keep up and remain relevant. So our job is to make sure that the API works, that it's firing instantly, the webhooks are firing instantly, and that we give you all the data that you need and all the context that you need from Aimfox. Then it's up to you, like how you're going to train this AI. Are you going to use third-party APIs such as Fireclaw or Calendly for scheduling links or whatever? Like you are going to put this all together and talk to Claude, because or whatever you're using, because it's going to give you, it's going to brainstorm with you, and it's going to give you some great ideas.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, man. Like I think we're gonna slowly bring this to an end. Yeah, like for people, I see we have a lot of people that are still hanging in with us. Like, congrats, guys! Like 50 minutes
You made it through.
Like, you made it through. Like wow, like we practically didn't drop the number of views we've had from the beginning. So that's amazing. It's definitely a hot topic. If you're not using Aimfox, you will get a discount code that you can use to give us a try, and it's going to be a 30% discount when signing up, and you'll get it through email. So keep your eye out on the email you're going to be getting from us. And yeah, as we said, like Alex is preparing some amazing stuff. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we'll be sharing a lot of knowledge around avatars, renting LinkedIn profiles, scaling agencies with Aimfox, scaling your outbound. So like a lot of cool stuff is going to be shared.
Oh,
and yeah. Alex, I see a few more. How do we access the blueprint? We'll send it out through email with the recording of this live. So just look out for the email. It's going to be coming, I think, tomorrow or today. As soon as possible, you'll be getting the blueprint. This is a little bit off topic, but like how can I run campaigns on LinkedIn Sales Navigator saved lists? Well, in Aimfox, we have native Sales Navigator support. So we have a native integration with Sales Navigator. You can save your list. I mean, Alex, like you've been building this quite a bit, so like you can maybe answer this question even better.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, if you have a Sales Navigator, which obviously you do, you can just, when you create your campaign, you can use Sales Navigator. You can also copy, I believe, and paste the link if you want, but Aimfox is the only tool that has the Sales Navigator already built into the tool. So you don't even have to go to LinkedIn for this. You can just fully go to your campaigns and fully build out the entire list just from Aimfox alone. In terms of, I guess, the saved list, yeah, you can do all that through Aimfox.
Yeah. And by the way, like one big update that we have coming up very soon, it's we're introducing a concept of like evergreen campaigns. So like you do, for example, a series of Sales Navigator filters, and you're gonna have we're gonna give you the option to re-scrape those leads automatically all the time. So like if you're using like the Sales Navigator filter, like viewed my LinkedIn profile, you're going to be able to set like re-scrape every 24 hours, and then every day we check who viewed your profile and you send them a connection request. So we're gonna be introducing that for like a lot of different, for all campaigns basically. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, and yeah, the elephant in the room, right? Is Aimfox currently planning to develop and build an AI reply functionality? Yes, we are, definitely. However, like where it becomes a little complicated is when you want to fit things into the platform and into the dashboard in a meaningful way. So we already have a roadmap of features that we're launching, like the evergreen campaigns, the lists, a whole bunch of things. The AI reply functionality is definitely there in the works, and we already have like all the conceptual knowledge that we need.
Mm-hmm.
It just needs to, it's standing in line to be developed and deployed. How far away is it? I would say realistically, it's 3 months away from being live. But yeah, it's just like in today's day and age, it's a lot easier to build stuff independently. Like, you can build this AI reply agent in 2 days. But if we want to like make it part of the larger system of Aimfox, it's a lot more complex because we need to make sure we maintain stability, context, like all of that stuff. So yeah, it's a little more complicated, but we're definitely getting to it, Silver. Yeah, I mean, okay, guys, like 56 minutes in, like I'm almost out of gas. My second Red Bull for the day is done, so I think I'm going to be calling it a day soon.
There you go.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Looks good.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining. Any questions you have, reach out to our team. You can always schedule a call and talk to our team, discover like different offers that we have. If you want to learn more about renting profiles, AI agents, LinkedIn outbound, integrations, all of that stuff. YouTube is going to be a great spot. And yeah, guys, thank you very much for hopping on. I am looking forward to doing our next webinar, which is going to be a bit of a surprise. So I'll leave it at that. And yeah, thank you for joining us and have an amazing rest of the weeks. And Alex, thank you for helping me.
Awesome, man. Yeah, thanks, Alex. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Have a good guys. Bye.